Hello students, how are you today? I am Ashar Khan, representing Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota, and I welcome you all to another video lecture, of SST Civics. Students, as we are revising our chapters which are coming in your upcoming exams, right? We have already covered chapters of economics and geography. So in this video we are covering civics, okay? In civics we are covering chapter number 2, which is what is democracy, why democracy. It is the second chapter in your civics book. So please open your book on page number 22 so that we may begin our revision video. As always, we'll be covering points to remember. We'll also be marking internal questions and answers, and I'll be explaining the CW questions to you all. So please be vigilant throughout the lecture. Let us begin. So the first thing that the chapter is asking is what is democracy? Okay, आप पढ़ते आए हो हमेशा कि democracy. Up since class 6 you learn about democracy, right? So in this chapter we are revising this topic thoroughly. That what is democracy? That you already know that it is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. It is a form of government. इसमें जो rulers होते हैं, जो हमारे leaders होते हैं, they are elected by whom? Who elects them? The people, the general people of a country. Okay, suppose you are living in India. Now you know that India is a democratic country. How so? Because our leaders, our politicians, हमारे जो politicians हैं, वो elect किए जाते हैं, right? Election होते हैं. Every 5 years we have elections, and our leaders are elected by whom? By the people that you know. So you can say that India is a democratic country. Further, final decision-making powers must rest with those elected by the people. And now, जो leaders हम elect करते हैं, the leaders which are elected by us, the final decision-making powers must rest with those only. Okay? Why? Because those leaders are representing us. क्योंकि हमने उनको वोट दिया है, right? We have voted for those people. Now they are in a position of power. They have obtained these seats such as prime ministers, chief ministers and other ministers in the government. Now they are making decisions. वो क्या कर रहे हैं? Decisions ले रहे हैं, laws बना रहे हैं, right? Because they are elected by the people, they are representing us. Okay? Moving. Another thing which we take give importance in this chapter in democracy is one person, one vote, one value. आपको ये पता है that every 5 years in our country elections are held, right? Elections take place every 5 years, and what do? We vote. Every person who is above the age of 18 gets to vote. Okay, so we say that one person will get one vote. Okay, every person can vote only once in that election, and that one vote will have one value only. Okay, one vote will be counted as one. It won't be counted as two votes. Okay, may it be the prime minister or any person. कोई भी हो वो, हर एक इंसान का वोट एक ही काउंट होगा. Every vote will have one value. Then elections offer a choice and fair opportunity to the people to change the current rules. Now elections जब होते हैं, correct? That means that you have a choice to make between the different candidates who are standing in elections. Okay, supposedly from your area 5 candidates are standing up. Okay, 5 candidates are competing in the election. That means you have a choice कि आप उन 5 लोगों में से किन को वोट देना चाहते हो, right? I'll give you an example. What happens in China? In China elections takes place every 5 years. Okay, China में हर 5 साल में elections होते हैं, but only one party competes. Always it's only one party. So can we call it a democracy? No students. We can't call it a democracy. Why? Because people don't have the choice, right? But in India, we have a choice. Whenever elections take place, different parties, different candidates, okay, compete against each other. And people have choice. Whichever one they want to vote, आपको जिसको vote देना है, you can vote on them. And your vote will have how much value? One value. Okay? Understood so far? Let's move on. See now, a democratic government rules within limits set by a constitutional law and citizens' rights. Now earlier what used to happen? A king used to rule over people, right? राजा राज करते थे पहले. Now whichever rule the king wants to have in its kingdom, he was allowed to do so. राजा अपने किंगडम में जो रूल चाहता वो लिख सकता था. Okay, वो ऑर्डर दे सकता था. But a democratic government which is elected by people, it cannot do whatever it wants because it has limits set by the constitutional law. That means हमारा जो constitution है, it gives power to the government, वो government को power भी देता है. Further, it also limits it so that the people who are being elected must not abuse their power. Okay? And it also protects citizens' rights. As a citizen of the country, you have some rights which cannot be taken away from you. आपके पास कुछ ऐसे rights हैं, there are 6 fundamental rights जो आपसे नहीं छीने जा सकते. The government or anyone else cannot violate your 6 fundamental rights. We will know about the fundamental rights in our next chapter, students. Now, another very important thing about democracy is that democracy can correct its own mistakes. Supposedly, a law was passed by a government, but the people didn't like that law. They disagree with it. Okay? Now they can protest against it. जो लोग हैं वो क्या कर सकते हैं? उसके खिलाफ protest कर सकते हैं. And if the government will see it, अगर government को लगेगा, then what they can do? They can correct their mistakes. They can admit कि yes, this law was bad because the people don't want it. We can correct it. Okay? And it only happens in democratic government. Why? Because democratic government is responsible to the people. It is accountable to the people. Why so? Because people, जो लोग हैं उन्होंने तो उन्हें elect करा है. अगर वो आज लोगों की नहीं सुनते, if a democratic government doesn't listen to its people, to its citizens, country citizens, what will happen? Next elections, no one will vote for that government. Correct? Now, another thing is, in this chapter, what we have done is, we have given some points supporting democracy and some points which are against democracy, right? So, we are studying this chapter with both viewpoints, against and for. So, here are some points which are against democracy. We will cover this in detail as well in our copywork. See, leaders keep changing, which leads to instability. In a democratic government, what happens? Every 5 years or so, what happens? Leaders change. Okay, so we are saying arguments against democracy. हम democracy के against arguments दे रहे हैं कि जो leaders हैं वो change होते रहते हैं, which leads to instability. Okay? So many people have to be consulted in a democracy that it leads to delays. In a democratic government, a lot of people are consulted. When a decision is supposed to be made, जब एक decision लेना होता है, a lot of ministers are required to attend the meeting, then everyone will have to agree as well on that particular law or bill, then only can that bill be passed, right? So it is saying that so many people have to be consulted, which means sometimes the decisions take a long time to carry out. It leads to delays. Okay, we'll see more points as we move. So students, we are now marking the internal questions and answers. So please open your books. On page number 24, write the first internal question on the top part of your page. On page number 24, define democracy. It's a very important question. What is democracy? Basically, define karna hai aapko. So what is the definition of democracy? First, let me explain this, then I'll help you mark in your book. See, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Okay? What is democracy? It is a form of government. Government की वो form होती है जिसमें जो rulers होते हैं, they are elected by the people. Now, where will you mark it? On page number 24, okay, last, second para. Okay? It's written in bold, you will be able to see it very clearly. It's written in bold, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. It's very easy to see. Okay? Mark it in your books with a pencil. Moving on to question number 2. Name the political party of Mexico who won every election till 2000. On page number 28, write this question. Name the political party of Mexico who won every election till 2000. Come to page number 28 now. The answer to that question is PRI. What was the name of the party? PRI, and its full form is Institutional Revolutionary Party. Okay? Now come to page number 28 so that you can mark this. The very first line of this page, student, page number 28 पे, जो बिल्कुल first line है आपकी, it is written PRI. Okay? And right in the bracket, the full form is also given, so underline that as well. Institutional Revolutionary Party. Done? Good. Now, on same page number 28 only, write the third question, which is, in which country women were not allowed to vote? In this chapter, we learnt about a country, Saudi Arabia, right? So it's asking that which country that we have studied about in this chapter, which country women were not allowed to vote. Write this question on page number 28. You can simply write the answer, Saudi Arabia. There were other countries as well where women were not allowed to vote, but in this chapter, we studied about Saudi Arabia. That is why we are covering this as an answer. Okay? Now, on page number 29, write the fourth internal question, which is, which party of Zimbabwe helped its country to gain independence? Okay, Zimbabwe, you have to write the name of the party which helped Zimbabwe to gain independence. Zimbabwe is a country. The name of the party was ZANU-PF. Write it in capital letters, Z-A-N-U, then hyphen, then PF. Okay, ZANU-PF is the name of the party which helped its country to gain independence. So students, this was it for the internal questions and answer. Now we move on to copy work. If you have not done your copy work in your copies, then please do so. Now let us go through this. First question, the main features of democracy. State the main features of democracy. Okay, the main features of democracy are: rulers elected by the people take all the major decisions. I have already explained this to you, that all the major decisions are to be taken by the rulers who are elected by the people. Then, democracy is based on free and fair elections where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing. Means the elections which are taking place in a democratic country, they are free and fair. Anyone can take part in it and they must be fair. That means the government which is currently ruling, they might lose and another government can come. Okay? Each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. Okay? A democratic government rules within limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' right. The democratic government will have laws. Okay? Democratic government जो है उसके ऊपर limits हैं, and who is taking that limit? Constitutional laws. The laws which are written in our constitution and the citizens' rights. They cannot violate it. Okay? Now, how can you say that Pakistan was not exercising democracy when General Musharraf was ruling? A very good question, that Pakistan was not a democratic country when General Musharraf was ruling. See, how so? See, the government in Pakistan under General Musharraf cannot be called a democracy because, first point, people may have elected their representatives, but those elected representatives are not the real rulers. See, people elect their representatives. In Pakistan, elections take place. People elect their representatives, their leaders, but those are not the real rulers. What happens is, the work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by a National Security Council which is dominated by military officers. So there is one cabinet which consists of representatives which are elected by the people, but there is another cabinet, National Security Council, and who takes part in it? The military officers which are not elected by the people. So finally, who is taking all the decisions? Military officers, but the people are not electing them. Right? And in a democracy, what do we say in democracy? That the final decision making power must rest with those who are elected by the people. And you can see clearly कि यहाँ पे तो ऐसा हो नहीं रहा है. The final power rests with military officers and General Musharraf himself. Okay? Now, neither the military officer nor General Musharraf, they were not appointed by the people. That is why Pakistan was not democratic when General Musharraf was ruling. Give arguments in favor of democracy. Now you have to say why democracy is a good option, a good type of government. Okay? The arguments in favor of democracy are: first, a democratic government is a better government because it is a more accountable form of government. Democratic government जो है वो better है because it is more accountable. People can hold it accountable. Okay, if a government makes a mistakes, people can point it out. See, you made a mistake, correct it. Okay, they cannot do so in a dictatorship or in a monarchy form of government. Democracy improves the quality of decision making. A lot of people are consulted in democratic government. Okay, so that is why decision making quality improves, because a lot of people are taking their inputs, are giving their inputs. It provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. Whenever conflicts arises, whenever there is a difference between people, a democratic government deals with it peacefully. It enhances the dignity of citizens. citizens who are living in a democratic government, they feel dignified, they feel respected. Why? Because they are all being treated equally. Democracy is better than other forms of government because it allows to correct its own mistakes. Whenever a government makes a mistake, it can correct it. Okay? If a democratic government makes a mistake, they can correct it. Okay? That is why these are some arguments in favor of democracy. Okay? Next question. What was PRI and what dirty tricks did it play to win elections in Mexico? Next question क्या है? It is asking what was PRI and what dirty tricks did it play to win elections in Mexico? See, PRI was a party called Institutional Revolutionary Party of Mexico. It's the name of a party of which country? Mexico. Now see, all those who were employed in government offices had to attend its party meetings. Now all the government officers of Mexico had to attend the party meetings. Even the teachers of government schools used to force parents to vote for the PRI. Now the teachers of government schools, they used to tell the parents to force them that we will only pass your kids if you vote for this party only. See, these are the dirty tricks which the political parties usually employ. Why? To win elections, to gain power. See how media largely ignored the activities of opposition political parties except to criticize them. Now the media, the TV channels, the newspaper, what they used to do? They ignored the activities of opposition parties. दूसरी जो parties थी, media उनकी अच्छी बातें नहीं बताती, but only to criticize them. उनको सिर्फ criticize करती, बुराइयां करती उनकी, so that the viewers जो उनको देख रहे हैं, जो newspaper पढ़ रहे हैं, what will they see? That the opposition party is not doing anything good. Why? क्योंकि media वो चीज़ दिखाई नहीं रही है. वो तो क्या दिखा रही है? Only the criticism. Okay, so they will go back to PRI. Sometimes the polling booths were shifted from one place to another in the last minute, which made it difficult for the people to cast their votes. See another dirty tricks. Polling booth where election voting takes place, right? They used to shift it from one place to another in the last minute, so the voters cannot vote for another parties. Okay? The PRI spent a large sum of money in the campaign for its candidates, and they used to spend a lot of money for posters, for advertisements for their candidates. Okay, usually it happens even in India as well, right? Whenever elections take place, political parties spend a large amount of money, right? Why? To advertise their own political parties. Next question. In which way is the right to vote in Saudi Arabia and Fiji? Both the countries, it is asking what is the right to vote in there. Okay, let's see. In Saudi Arabia, women do not have the right to vote. Okay, in Fiji, the electoral system is such that the vote of an indigenous Fiji has more value than of an Indian Fijian. Now, as I just told you, in a democratic government, what happens? Every person has the right to vote. But in Saudi Arabia, women didn't have the right to vote. They do now. But there was a time when they do not have the right to vote. And another thing was that each person will have one vote, which will be equal to one value. But as you can see, that indigenous Fiji means the people native to that country. Their vote held more value than that of an Indian Fijian, than some other Fijian who came out of a different country. Okay? In both the countries, the right to vote is denied as there is no political equality. Correct? In democracy, we say that each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. Okay, students? Why is democratic government a better government? Now, we are comparing the democratic government and non-democratic government. First, people have political rights. In a democratic government, people have political rights. That means they can vote, they can stand up in elections. But in a non-democratic government, people do not enjoy political rights. Sometimes they don't get the right to vote. Sometimes their vote is not counted as equals, or they can't stand up in elections. Correct? There are free and fair elections and people participate freely. In a democratic form of government, the elections are free and fair and people participate freely in them. But in a non-democratic government, elections are not held in a free and fair manner. As we saw that PRI was a party, right? Their elections are not held in free and fair manner. So we call it a non-democratic government. But if you take the examples of India, In India, anyone can compete in elections, any political party can come and win the elections, right? That is why we call our country a democratic government. Now, democratic government is accountable. A non-democratic government is not accountable to the people. People participate in the functioning of the government in decision-making process. Now, people participate in the functioning of the government. How so? By voting for their leaders. They are participating in the government making process, right? Decision-making process, they are participating. But in a non-democratic government, people enjoy no individual liberty, dignity and political equality. They are suppressed. Non-democratic government में जो लोग होते हैं ना तो उनको liberty होती है, freedom, neither they are respected, nor they have political equality. They are suppressed. Their voices are not heard. Okay. But in a democratic government, in a democratic country, what happens? People participate by electing their leaders, and even then if they don't like what the law has been passed by a democratic government, they can protest against it. Now, give arguments against democracy. Up until now, we have glorified democracy, correct? हमने बताया कि democracy में क्या-क्या अच्छी बातें होती है. Now, we are giving arguments against democracy because we have to see it from both viewpoints, right? So the arguments against democracy are, first, leaders keep changing in democracy. Democracy में leaders जो हैं वो change होते रहते हैं, which leads to instability. Okay? Some new leader might come जो जिसको पता ही नहीं हो कि government को कैसे चलाते हैं. This will lead to instability. Democracy is all about political competition and power play. There is no scope for morality. Okay? People say, लोग क्या कहते हैं that democracy is all about political competition. जो leaders हैं, okay, जो politicians हैं, they only care about winning. They don't, they have no scope for morality. Means what is good and what is bad. They only care about winning to gain power. So many people have to be consulted in a democracies that it leads to delay. I explained it to you earlier as well that in a democratic form of government, a lot of people are to be consulted. For example, if we talk about our own country, okay, all the decisions are taken in parliament. A lot of people sit in parliament, they have to agree, then the bill will go to Rajya Sabha, okay, the upper chamber. Then another debate will take place, then it will go to president, right? So the decision making process is very long. That is why we are saying that in a democratic form of government, a lot of people are consulted, which leads to delay. काफी देर लगती है. Next, elected leaders do not know the best interest of the people. Elected leaders do not know the best interest of the people, which leads to bad decisions. Supposedly, a new minister comes. Elections के बाद, a new minister wins, but he doesn't know what is the best interest of the people. कि मुझे देश के लिए क्या अच्छे काम करने हैं. And he might take bad decisions. Democracy leads to corruption, for it is based on electoral competition. Democracy में corruption भी होता है, okay? Because people only want to compete, to win, to gain power. Ordinary people do not know what is good for them. They should not decide anything. And what are we saying in the last? That ordinary people, the citizens, us, we don't know what is good for them, and that is why we should not decide anything. That we should leave it to the government. The government should not change. That only one particular person who is ruling, he shall rule for the much year he is ruling. Okay, so these are the arguments which we give in against democracy. Our next question, in China, elections are held every 5 years. In spite of this, China does not have a democratic government. Why? So what it is asking that China में elections होते हैं हर 5 साल में, right? But still we don't call China a democratic government. Why? See, China does not have a democratic government because in China, elections are regularly held after every 5 years for electing the country's parliament called National People's Congress. See, China में जो elections होते हैं वो हर 5 साल में होते हैं, okay? Why? To elect the country's parliament called National People's Congress. What is the name of Chinese parliament? National People's Congress. National People's Congress has the power to appoint the president of the country. Now the people who will be elected in the parliament, they will appoint the president of the country. It has nearly 3,000 members elected from all over China. And how many members are elected in the parliament of China? 3,000 members from all over the country. Some members are elected by the army. Okay, army also elects members. Before contesting elections, a candidate needs the approval of Chinese Communist Party. Before, if I am to contest an election in China, I will need the approval of Chinese Communist Party. But what will happen? This party will not give me permission to compete in election. And that is why we cannot call China a democratic country. Why? Because only one party competes. चाइना में जब इलेक्शन होते हैं तो एक ही पार्टी compete करती है and you have to vote for only one party. That means जीतेगा भी कौन? एक ही पार्टी जीतेगी. Means you are not getting choice. In a democratic government, in a democratic elections, we have choices between different parties, different candidates. But as you can see, यहाँ पे तो ऐसा हो ही नहीं रहा है. That is why, even though China has elections at every 5 years, still it is not a democratic form of government. The government is always formed by the Communist Party. Okay, since there is only one party, okay, the government is always formed by the Communist Party. So students, that was it for our chapter 2 of civics, which was what is democracy, why democracy. I hope you learnt well in this chapter. Please mark the internal question answers well. I hope to see you in our next class soon. Thank you so much.